Another one bites the dust. He's a heavy fella, huh? Super.
A dragon!
The dragon.
A dragon!
This is the new logo from former known as Pop Culture Shock, now Premium Collectible Studios. Or actually, I think it's Premium Collectibles Studio with an S on the collectibles. There's no gloves.
Too bad.
That's okay because they stink.
Like looting plastic. Yes. Taking the small things.
The small things.
Whoop.
Is that a head?
Yes, a head. That's it. Leonardo's head.
Turn around. Let me see your butt.
No!
You have flamingo all over your butt.
Stop it!
That's how it is when you unbox statues. Flamingo all over the place. And the smell of polystone and plastic.
Ooh.
A stick.
No, it's katana.
Katana or ninjatsu.
Ninjatsu.
Ninjatsu. That's the name of Leonardo's swords, actually.
The swords he has?
Mm-hmm. A katana is a two-handed sword, but Leonardo's is a single-handed sword. That's why he have two.
Oh, like this?
Exactly. But it can be used as a two-hand sword as well. Yeah, so we find some gloves. They are old gloves, so they don't stink anymore. So we are very mad about that because it's a part of the experience.
It's a part of the experience!
They must be very smelly.
Yes!
Because then, otherwise it's not right. It's not a real
Not right.
real unboxing without the stank. Premium Collectible Studio.
Yes, please make sure
the glove stinks next time. You have to be very smelly. Savklinger.
Saw blades.
Saw blades, I think
Saw blades.
the translation is.
Saw.
Saw blades. Which is a part of Leonardo's base, that robot he fights in the series. Inside the Technodrome.
The 80s series.
In the 1987 series, yes.
Yes, that's from your time.
Is that from my time?
That's not my generation, even though I've seen it. It's very good.
Are you saying I'm old? Well, there's actually people out there who have seen you from when you were very younger to now. How old are you now, Taya?
15.
15. Her non-formation is coming up this month.
This is like the heaviest you've ever carried. That's...
My knee is hurting. Wow.
Yes. I think there needs to be a thing right there. Yes, there's an attachment. That's beautiful.
Yes, very beautiful plastic indeed.
There you go.
That was actually the toughest one yet. Okay.
Yes, but Raphael was pretty tough too.
he really didn't skip leg day, didn't he?
No, he didn't skip leg day at all. Ooh, Michael Jackson.
You can't say that, it's copyright rules.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
But Leonardo's swords in the old cartoon is actually more katana-ish.
Yes, this black.
Because they are straight bladed. While
It's like a knife.
it's like a knife. It's actually a letter cutter.
Yes, it must be able to cut paper before it's a real katana.
Yes. Actually a nice little detail with the weathering or shading or what we call it on the back of the blade. Has a little black shading there. And there he is.
Choo, choo, choo.
It's not a laser beam.
No.
Yeah, that's a more fitting sound.
The first piece. They don't have an exclusive head though because they will.
Yes, let's cut that out, shall we?
Yes. Are we gonna do the katana or
Do the hands first.
that's the one, and then this.
We're trying to figure out the combination of hands, and we are actually agreeing on which one we like the best. With the
other
stick with the pointy end.
stick poke. That's pretty badass. You to me. This is a
Er der bogstaver på?
yes.
There's letters.
Oh, that's the one. And then
Jeg tror, den skal i der, ja.
yep. Nope. This is the correct.
It's the other way.
Ah, it hurt me.
There you go.
Yes.
Det er bare plastik. What the f... So here he is, Leonardo, quarter scale statue from pop culture Shell Shock. That is not the name anymore. PCS now stands for Premium Collectibles Studio. I will come back and talk a little bit more about that, but first I want to cover all the good aspects about this statue. Mine came without flaws and damages, so that's a good thing. The sculpt is great and the colors are beautiful and popping, just like on the other three turtles. I was a little concerned about his pose in the beginning when they announced him, because in certain angles it can look like he's dancing basically. But more head on, it's not so bad. And I have chose to use one exclusive arm and one regular arm, which basically saves the pose, so to speak, in my opinion. The two exclusive arms makes the swords cross, and the two regular ones are to the sides. The base is huge, nice and clean, just like the others, and it's very heavy. Leonardo apparently fights a bigger robot than the others. The final result of Leonardo, as we see him here, is acceptable. He's a great statue in my opinion, and he has that stationary fighting pose like Donatello and Raphael have. Michelangelo, that's another case, and if you want to hear what I have to say about him and his pose, you have to watch that video. But there's some certain aspects behind this statue I want to cover, which are not on the positive side. So let's go suck a lemon with Leonardo. When Pop Culture Shock quitted their site, went over to Sideshow, and changed their name, a lot of things have happened in that process, both good and bad. One of the things that happened is that these turtles got more and more expensive. I think they know that when people have bought one or two turtles, they have to have the others as well. And then they went up in price. The thing is that we also got less for the money. What I mean about that is that the other exclusive turtles came with a set of exclusive hands and an exclusive head too. But Leonardo, he doesn't come with an exclusive head. They skipped that part. There was planned an exclusive head with a closed mouth, which was what I personally preferred for this statue, but they chose to not give us that. When I asked PCS about this, the answer I got was that the exclusive head was scrapped due to other financial aspects. And I actually believe that, because it's no secret that PCS has been through a lot of pressure to make the company survive. And what I think happened was that, as you can see, Leonardo was announced on another base. It was not the right robot he was standing on, and people was informing PCS about this. They want him to be on the right robot. And that is the connection here, I think, that this large, heavily robot base took all the money from PCS to make that thing happen. But to do so, they had to skip and scrap the exclusive head. And then you can, as a customer, collector, have different opinions on which one you would have preferred. I actually see a compromise here, which PCS could have went with. This heavily large dome base didn't have to be that big. They could have chose to cut some of it off behind him, or make it a half dome, so to speak. They could even have kept the original idea with Leonardo's foot down in the hole, to save some space and probably some money. Instead of this, that most of all looks like a frog leg actually. It's pretty much impossible for anyone to stand and be balanced like this on a round surface. The saw blades are not even necessary. I know it looks cool and all, and is a part of the robot Leonardo is fighting, but it's not necessary for Leonardo to complement the other turtles in a full setup, which is a point I talked a lot about in the Michelangelo review. This is not a single piece statue. It's a statue which you complement other statues in a full setup with a certain style. That would have been my preference, that PCS saved volume on the base to complete Leonardo with his exclusive head instead. Because the exclusive heads on the other turtles are very signature-based, signature expressions, so to speak. And we needed that to complete the set with Leonardo's serious face. Also because if you want to use the exclusive heads in a full setup, well, then it validates the presence, in my opinion, because if you use the exclusive heads on all of them, then we have both Leonardo and Raphael, who is very angry. And then we have Donatello, who is happy, and Michelangelo, who is goofy. It really doesn't make much sense in a full setup to use the exclusive heads now. PCS has announced that with their new name, they are running a whole new concept, a whole new way of selling and promoting their statues. And that shows very clearly on certain factors. For example, skipping the exclusive heads. Another thing could be that these things for Leonardo's swords are wobbly and they are just plastic. They are not sculpted. no polystone. A third thing could be the edition size cards, which many collectors have been very happy about for many years to display together with their statues. It gave that premium feel, ironically enough. Now when PCS have changed their name to premium, it's like they are taking all the premium feel away. Exclusive parts, changing polystone to plastic, and scrapping the edition size cards. PCS was arrogant enough to skip these cards midway through this turtle line. That means that Leonardo doesn't come with a card, but the others did. Which invalidates the whole concept of displaying the cards together with the turtles, which I have looked very much forward to. I have framed my cards and everything. And I know many other collectors feel the same way. Actually, when I opened the box and didn't see that signature move from Pop Culture Shock, the card, as the first thing, and knew that this was a PCS statue and not any statue, I went to the communication PCS group and asked if that really could be true, that there was no edition side card. And they confirmed that this was what they want to do in the future. No cards, nothing. And many collectors was behind me and said that is just a move, to be honest. Not just to skip the cards in general. Many collectors love those cards and they are so easy to make, so it's a weird thing again to scrap from their production. But that they also chose to skip the cards in the line, in this turtle line, before the line was finished. To a certain point, I would have understand if they skipped the cards after Leonardo, and then the villains, upcoming villains and other statues would not have a card. They even told us we could just make the cards ourselves, and that is correct. They are pretty easy to make. But then PCS, then you have missed the whole point on what the cool thing was about these cards. To unbox them together with our statues, and for some collectors, display these cards together with their statues to give them that premium collectible feel. It was a whole experience. Not to mention, since this new concept started, their new way of communicating with the collectors and with some of their faithful customers through many years. In the group, it was back in the day about good vibes, pros and cons, and they had this incredible ability to receive inputs and criticism from the customers. That is not the case anymore. In the matter of fact, every little thing that is posted which doesn't have a positive vibe towards their new concept is getting deleted. My post about the edition size cards was also deleted. They do this on single comments, but also on, especially if several collectors are standing together on the case. Then it's only a matter of minutes before the post is taken down. And the fact that their prices are continue raising for some products to the point where they are most certainly overpriced. It feels like I have lost an old friend, really, because former known as Pop Culture Shock has been a huge part of my life for many years. Their customer service, reasonable products for reasonable prices. Not so much on the production part itself. It's no secret that Pop Culture Shock was never the fastest company in the world, but for obvious reasons, it was a very respected company. But I did also say there is some good things about this new concept from Premium Collectible Studio. I think their main focus now is to focus more on quality and not so much on quantity, which maybe can give us a little bit of an explanation why they chose to skip the exclusive head, in contrast to a larger base, or all the saw blades, for example. Not so much this little plastic thingy behind him, but let's say we never saw that. And if that is the case, that they can deliver some better and more quality-based statues, well, then they still have a faithful customer, in me at least. Regarding the prices in the future, we have to see how that goes. But if we take Leonardo here, for example, he has very clearly got a better and more solid treatment than the other turtles, which makes him stand out as a better statue. Not so much a complementing statue, but as a single piece statue. Nevertheless, the turtles, the brothers, are finally together, and we can look forward to the upcoming Shredder statue. And as always, let's do a size comparison.